Hey, welcome everybody. I didn't have a live stream last night because Rusty's hangout going. We're not going to do the build on the days of the hangout, so there won't be one Monday. But we'll spend an hour tonight, and I'll show you what I did off camera. Now I'm not going to be doing much off camera, but I do want to show you what I can't do uh, here in my area. Let me get over here. Okay. Um, Today I went over to John's. I was gonna clear my airplane, but unfortunately, too much humidity. So I just left it over there, and he'll shoot some clear on it when the humidity drops. But we needed to do something. You got to be productive some way. So took the engine apart. John went through it. We sandblasted the case. We got to get some bearings for it. It's back together, but we kind of need it for the crutch placement. But the thing that I spent the most time on was the engine bearers, the motor mounts themselves. Now, you'll see that it's relieved here, an eighth of an inch. This I'm going to be using a 4-ounce clunk tank in this. So you have to relieve this area here so the engine can be raised up. I've also tapered this engine bearer down on the belt sander or disc sander. So just to get rid of a little weight. Made some engine pads. I was going to use my titanium pads, but I'm going to save that for a full-blown stunt ship. So today we're going to make a crutch. So we'll look here. Now, I hope I can find these without a big rigmarole looking for these screws. I don't, oh, there's one. I've got one. Got a lot of junk. Let's see here. And I did not hollow these motor mounts out. Normally on the big stunt ships, you take a router blade and you route in the center of this, but because we removed an eighth of an inch off the engine bearer itself, I didn't want to do that. So I only have one screw in there. I have to look in my miscellaneous screw box. Let's see if I have any more. Got all the big screws I need. Them little screws are tough. So I know this is really a boring thing to watch. You guys say that it's not. I think it would be, but what the heck? We'll press on. You guys want to see it? Nothing there. Next box. I don't think I have any of those, but I guess I can pull out that other box and look and see if there's any in there. I got a lot of goodies here, but I don't have what I need. Look here. No. No. I have one screw. It's going to be very hard to do the job with one screw. So let's pull out the miscellaneous box and look through it. That might be more interesting than the build video we're doing here. I'll show you the box of crap I bought. They had a swap meet, and I don't know, I just like buying junk, I guess. So let's see if there's anything in here we're going to use for this airplane. So might as well look at this stuff here. I think I'll use this carbon bell crank in this airplane. Well, there's a canopy there I could use, cut. Yeah, that's interesting. Boy, we're just finding all kind of stuff. Now this is a Thunderbolt canopy, but it's I think I can use it for the canopy for this Tucker Special, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yep. How cool is that? This is a Thunderbolt canopy and a little pilot. I'll take this and cut it right here, and then turn this forward, clean it up, and we'll use it as the canopy. So I don't have to make a canopy. That's great. Cool. Perfect. So we have a canopy now. So let's, well, I got more T-nuts and all kind of stuff in here. Hopefully I have some, here we go. I can use those little screws. I'd like to have the good ones though. I'll open the chat up in about an hour, but I want to keep it to airplanes. I don't want to keep it to the Hangouts. Hangouts is for Rusty. Oh, I wonder if I got a 5/8 tail wheel in here. 3/4 tail wheel. I found them. Perfect. All right. Number 4 socket head sheet metal screws is what I'm going to use to hold that down with. So let's get the bell crank out of here. This is a Steve Wilkes bell crank. These are the lightest bell cranks you can find. They weigh 7 grams. So we'll go with that. I need to dump these parts out into the into this so I can have the bag. This is a miscellaneous. I need to go through all this stuff and get it put away. Brass eyelets and stuff. We're going to get our Tucker Special parts in here. I'll put some eyelets in there. We don't need those. We don't need this. So we want this bell crank and the windshield in this bag. About 25 years ago, let's see how, no, let's be longer than that. 28 years ago, 1991, when I was making handles, there was a hardware store. I can't believe I still got this. These are the coolest furrows. I bought handle cable from the hardware store and the special furrows and pliers, and I still got some of that from almost 30 years ago. It's like new. Of course, it wouldn't go bad. '91 to 19 is 28 years ago. Okay, so we got the. Let's make a quick look. I got a pilot if I want to put a pilot in it. Of course, I would probably put the little bigger one in it if I was going to do it. I don't know. Or maybe this guy. We got the Bearcat landing gear. There's a thong. Ooh, we got some glass cloth tape. There's all kind of stuff in here. I think I paid $25 for this box. There's got to be $300-400 worth of stuff in here. Each one of these, probably 200. Each one of these things is there's $2, another $2 for pilots is $5, $4.55. Wheels $1.45. What kind of shit? Anyway, we don't need to look through that now. I got a big bunch of wood for making molds too out of that. I think I paid $20 for that. Anyway, we'll use that bag right there for our miscellaneous parts. So now on the motor mounts. You want to drill a pilot hole for these screws. You don't want to just run them down in there, it'll split the wood. Let's see, hopefully I can find a 16th inch bit. There we go, that's the 16th. These are Jim Lee finger drills. I like them. I have a drill that I bought for $5. Maybe I'll get that out so I don't have to spend a lot of time drilling this, but we'll get it marked anyway. It's an old Craftsman drill. Okay, got a couple marks there. Let me get this drill out. Yeah. Still got the price tag on it. Modeling on a budget. Oh shoot, it's not gonna work. This is not a, it might. It might. Oh yeah, good. It's a 3/8 drill, not a half. But it'll work. Some guys use them little flathead screws Tom Morris sells. I don't like them because you can't, the little screwdriver head almost strips out. So I just use these number 4 screws. They seem to work pretty good. What the heck? There we go. If you don't drill a pilot hole, you'll split the motor mount. It keeps moving. This is not my best clamp here. I had to wait to start this chat because the next door neighbor was playing his guitar again. Let's wait till I get the piano. What the heck happened to? Oh, there's the good clamps. Huh. Must be a burr on that thing. You can't see it, but I'll try to show it. You look here, you see the end of this? Even when I pulled it down, it was up off the wood. If you don't catch that, that'll give you positive incidence in the motor, cause the airplane to rise. That would be no good. So we got to figure out why it won't lay flat. And you certainly don't want it the other way. Well, it's not the case. So that's okay. I see. Turn it over. We'll turn it over. Well, no dancing girls, no band, no comedy, just boring tinkering with airplanes. I couldn't show this motor mount being made because I didn't have a camera today. And it was not much to see anyway. Okay, there it went down. So you'll notice here, it's down all the way on the mount. A little time taken now will pay off in the end. This is up on this one too for some reason. Now it's the other way. The heck's going on here? Let's loosen this up so we can't pull it down. Nope. What the heck? It's a story. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share the videos. I'm trying to get the channel to grow. It's growing, but it's rather slow. There's no burr on it. So let's try it again. Maybe I'm just not strong enough today. But I know what I can do. Get the Allen wrench out, crank her down. Yeah, can't get much torque on this ball driver. Okay, I'll play games. 3:30 seconds. This one right here. Okay, it laid completely flat down, no gaps in between, so that's the way it's supposed to look. Then the motor will sit on here as such. Blind nuts on the other side. So let's do the other one. If I can find the other pad. Okay. And there's a little burr on this thing. Oh well. We'll go ahead and put the crutch together tonight. Oh, I see why. That hole really isn't, 1/8 of an inch hole is really not big enough for this screw to pass through. Interesting. So let's go up one size and the drill bit on this so I don't have that problem. This is a 1/8, yeah. Let me pull up the chat so I can see if you guys are asking any questions. I got 7 playbacks, no questions. Got 1 like, current viewers of 7. Okay. I see what happened here. I thought I was using an 1/8 inch drill bit over John's. I wasn't. Must have been a size smaller. Because those holes are not quite big enough. But no problem. The drill bit, the drill from the 1960s, 3/8, $5. See, I paid $5 at a swap meet where I bought them all that stuff. I do have a vise over by the TV, but we're not going to monkey with it. Let's clean up the burrs with a bigger bit. I think I'll take that one back off and drill them out so it sits down there better. I can see the chat. If you guys want to type in a question in the chat, I'll open the thing up for questions in a half an hour. There we go. That's much better. Now, I don't know how many hours this is going to take to build, but it is what it is. Whatever it takes is what it takes. I'm going to undo this and drill those holes out so the motor mount or the pad goes down on there better. It's better to take care of this stuff now than it is to wait until the airplane's all together and go, damn, I wish I'd have took care of that. Yeah, see, that's what the problem is. It's hanging up on that. No questions. 6 viewers, 12 playbacks. Okay. Hey, if you like what you see here, give me a hand. Throw me a super chat. Any of you guys get the plans off the outer zone? Flying models, Bob Hunt. Okay, that works much better. Much more better. I need one more screw. I think when I open the chat up, I'm going to sort out some of my junk. So if you got any questions about my junk, you can ask them. because I got some junk. What the heck? You know, I never had a mill when building airplanes ever in life. Never. And I got to tell you, I'm going to have to get one, even if it's a little benchtop job, because man, it sure makes some of these processes really nice, really easy. Now, in a perfect world, I would have marked all these out and done this drilling in the mill. But it's my friend's house and I can't camp out over there all weekend, so I just go over there and spend one day a week. All right, so we got our motor mounts done. I'm going to show you the easiest way to make a crutch. There's just no other easier way. Once you have the engine bearers done. So now we have 2 engine bearers, and you'll notice the, let me switch screens here. I need to get the mouse over here. Control. Come on, there we are. Pull this down. I'll move this over here. Go to the Jitsi. Okay, now I can see what I'm doing. How this angle works here, this taper works, is the long side goes to the outside. This is what gets glued to the doubler. I will probably saw with a hacksaw or my back saw some lines in here so you got more gluing surface. So don't get them mixed up. Make sure that you put them in so that the V's are to the outside. So we're going to mark them because I'm a knucklehead and get excited and sometimes glue on the wrong side, and that's not a good thing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark these for where the glue goes. And you're going to go, why is he marking there? Remember, I told you the outside gets glued to the doubler, but I'm going to mark these on the inside. And you ask why? Because that's where the glue is going to go first. So I'll get out the calipers. This is the absolute easiest way to make a crutch. I see guys struggle with all kind of nonsense. Yeah, I could build one up, but we're not gonna. I like ease. So I measure the engine bearer width. And that measures 195 thousandths. No good. So we're going to make it 200 thousandths. 1 inch 200 thousandths. And you say, well, why is that? Well, this set of plans calls for, I think it's 2 degrees, but I like 3 degrees motor offset. You guys can build them any way you like. That's too tight. So it's going to have to be 225,000. Let's try that. Still too tight. 230,000. There we go. We'll make it 240,000. I want enough slop in between the engine bearers that I can give my 3 degrees without grinding on it. Still not enough. There we go. 230,000. So a lot of guys don't do anything but use contest wood or whatever, and that's all well and good, but you got to have some RC wood for things like this. This is a, let me see if I got a heavier piece. This is a 1/2 inch piece. Here we go. This is a scrap piece, so we'll use the scrap instead of cutting up a full sheet. So, time to take the plans down because I'm going to make some sawing, and I can't saw into my plans. Yeah. Boy, how time flies when you're doing nothing. You know, a lot of people think, you know, the way I'm doing this, it takes more time for me to set the stuff up and explain things than it does for me to actually do it. So if I wasn't explaining, I could zip through it, but I want you guys to see and maybe build along or whatever. Let's put these with my other bag of stuff here, like Tucker parts. We haven't glued anything yet. The first thing we're going to glue is the crutch, because that's where the fuselage starts, is the crutch. The whole airplane is built around the crutch. $230. Okay. Let me get I'll get the pad on here so it's not so glaring, except it's probably still pretty glaring, but that's the way it goes. So the first thing you want to do is you want to square off the end. Hopefully I had already cut it square. Yes and no, it's fairly square, but we'll go ahead and sand it square. Remember, this is my grandfather's square used to use making boats. It's only a few thousandths out of square, but best to do it now. Much better. Accuracy counts. I look at an airplane when I'm judging appearance or whatever, and I can see things in the sanding and in the construction just make me cringe. Okay, that's good. So we need 2 pieces this width. Yeah, that probably helped the glare a little bit. I can't tell where it's coming from. Coming from this light here. No good. I'm just using some spot lamps to shine the light where I need to get. This apartment is so dark, it's ridiculous. Relatively square. So now we'll cut another one. Well, square off the end here. Yep, perfect. Dress it off. We just need 2 pieces. You can't get any simpler than this. I mean, I see guys struggling all the time. I'm making my crutch. Come on, it takes like 10 minutes. Half an hour tops. Okay. Those are perfect. Let's dress them. So tonight will be the crutch build. That probably all we'll get in the hour. Now you don't have to do all the work I did on my motor mounts. You can just take 3/8 by half and do this business here. But if you're going to use a clunk tank, make sure you relieve this area so you can shim the tank up. All right, make sure we got the squares in there. I have left 1/8 of an inch flat so that I can put my firewall there. The firewall will go down on top of that. As I stated before, I'm kind of redesigning how the Tucker is constructed, but I'm not redesigning any numbers. So we're going to I need to see where that falls. I need to see where that falls. Oh, it doesn't matter. Or does it? Let's see here. Probably does. Okay, what did I do with the engine? We have no questions, but we have 6 watchers, so somebody's interested in this. I think it's boring as hell, but you guys want to see it done. Where is the engine? Here it is. Okay, this is where that goes. The motor is set back. So it will go right there on that. So that's good. So it is correct. It'll go right there. Right there on that area. So I'll mark it. And that's where I'm going to cut off the filler piece. Now with this crutch, that's where the doublers are laid out, or the F1 and F2 are laid out from. You can't really go by the plans because there's a varying degree in engines. This Fox 35 is a different width than that OS. So let's use alphatic glue to glue them together. Oh, shoot. This is watery stuff. This is what I use to bond the man. Okay, at least it hit the drawer. So we're not going to use white glue. Kind of screwed that up. I need another bottle of white glue. I thinned this 50-50 when I glued those skins together. So we're going to have to use epoxy and CA. So we'll CA these two pieces together. A slight difference there. I'll do it on that. Perfect. Okay. Remember, our X is at the glue side. That makes sense? That's exactly correct. Okay, so let's mix up some 5-minute epoxy or 15-minute epoxy. For those sticking around for the last hour, in 5 or 10 minutes, as soon as I get this glue set up, we'll go ahead and open the chat up. You can ask me any questions. Like I say, we're just working on this an hour a day until it's done. We'll see how long it takes. Might take a year. Who knows? I've never worked on an airplane an hour a day. So get some wax paper. The local Walmart store wax paper. Okay, so I got my clamp here. So I got another good one hanging around here somewhere. Yeah, there's another good one. So, epoxy. I found the white glue. 15, 15, good. Okay. And a brush and a mixing cup. I'm going to put all the Tucker videos in a playlist. At the end of the build, I might come back and edit it up, add some voiceover or whatever, but I'm going to have to charge for that DVD. You can't believe the amount of time that I put into this stuff. It's, okay, we got about 50-50 there. I'll add some extra tips on sanding and painting and stuff too in the this set of videos here will only be building. The finishing will be a different set because I can't hardly work on something an hour a day. Just ain't right. Okay. "15-minute epoxy." You can use hour, you can use 24-hour, you can use a week. It doesn't matter to me. I've made them with white glue. I've made them with I've done noses with CA and they haven't come apart. If you guys would like to see an in-depth tutorial on the US Cutter and Inkscape, I can do those too. All right, I got epoxy on these things. Don't be skimpy on that. Why are we got? There we are. Okay, lay it down on the glass. Put it on your mark. Lay it down. And you'll wonder, well, we got, there's an 1/8 of an inch more there. Well, it doesn't matter because I'm going to sand it out of there. I always take my square on the side of these mounts and square them up so they're both of equal length. Come on. Now we can clamp them together. And you know that crutch is going to work, and it's going to work perfect. Straight. perfect. So now we just let this thing dry, and then we're going to come back and sand out between the engine bearers this 1/8 of an inch that's sticking up, and I'll block sand off any of the glue here. Of course, we could wipe that off, except I don't have any paper towels. Toilet paper. That's another thing I see guys do. If you got extra glue hanging around, wipe it off. There's, or get it off there somehow, because you're just carrying around extra weight there's no need for. That glue's not doing any good. Another check. This one. That's a good thing I checked it, because it ain't perfect. And it's warm in here. All right, we're going to open the chat up. Thanks for watching hour 3. If you have a question, you can ask me. Come on. Can't think straight tonight. So let's measure stupid things. Make sure that we got it straight. Why is it not square? What the heck is going on? Okay, that's square. Maybe I don't need to clamp it. When I clamp it, it's pulling it. One inch 970 thousandths. And that's pretty square. $971 thousandths. That's pulling it crooked. Bad thing about model airplanes, you got one chance. You better make it right. I have the correct tools here. There we go. Well, without the correct tools, still got it squared up and still built the crutch in an hour and 5 minutes, plus all the monkeying around, the explanations. So go to the chat box. We'll open up the discussion for a half an hour. Where is the mouse? There it is. So we want to go. Copy. Well, Rusty, I'll guarantee you that if I was using 5-minute epoxy, I'd have got it right the first go around. Because I wouldn't have been explaining, I'd have been paying attention to what I was doing. All right, you got a question? You want to shoot the shit for half an hour or whatever? The link's in the description. The link's in chat, excuse me. Now this epoxy's starting to set up, starting to kick off. Let's see this little block for a nose block. Probably use that too. Okay, I also mentioned that I'm going to be. I didn't like how this came out. Now I laid it out on the on camera, but since making this crutch, I'm going to change the nose once again. So what I'm going to do is when I draw the wing opening, I've been splitting the fuselage right in the center and then pulling the front half off and the back half off, laying it upside down on the glass. Well, that's going to change too. I'm going to lay it upside down on the wood. But I'm going to go ahead and split that and make the doublers so that the doublers are in that split. And I'm going to redesign the front half of this airplane. So I'll have a front half and a back half. And this will be chopped off here and gone. We'll make another one. I don't think that this layout, the way the plans had the lines, where this is 3 or half of an inch here, are going to lay correct to make a real nice looking nose. So I did find a prop extension that I'm going to use. So we're going to fill the first 1.5 inches with balsa wood so that you don't have that transition from hardwood to the outside, because you always see that no matter what. Doesn't matter what you've done, if you transition balsa wood to hardwood after one setting in the sun, bam, I can see that, and it looks like hell, I think. So planning ahead, will save that headache out after the sun. Now this is a classic airplane. There's no appearance points in classic or whatever. but if you came from the era that I came from, every airplane was hand built and finished beautifully. They all had, but we had different materials, and we had Aerogloss dope, and Aerogloss dope is so far superior to this stuff we got now. Nothing but black on the video. Interesting. Oh, I see. Hold on. Let me get you the correct link to the Jitsi. That was the wrong link. Let me retract it. Where the hell did the mouse go? Now I can't find the mouse. Oh, it's up here. So we'll go here, retract, remove. Okay, so we got to go here, copy. Paste. All right, you can join the video now. I'm glad you said something, Rusty. I mean, this new software is ridiculously tough. I suppose after 6 months to a year, we'll figure this out. If you have any questions, there we go. That's up, Rusty. Are you there?
It looked like you had a few YouTube. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got eight watchers. All right, you can join the video now. I'm glad you said something, Rusty. Software is ridiculously tough. I suppose after everybody, please make sure to turn off or mute the YouTube when you join the Jitsi chat. Otherwise, it'll loop over and over and over again, drive you crazy.
Yeah, I got mine turned off.
You didn't.
But no, when I first came in, I forgot. I rewrote.
Huh?
Go ahead. I was just going to do my usual thing and talk too much.
This engine turned out pretty nice. It looks new, but inside it needs bearings. I got to get with Randy Smith. He's going to send me some bearings, and we're going to take it back apart. But I needed it to set up this crutch. Now I wasn't going to go over John's tomorrow, but I have to because I left my damn battery socket stuff over there in my paint. I took a gallon of thinner over there and another quart of paint. We couldn't paint today because it was so damn humid. You still there, or you froze up?
Yeah, no, I'm still here. I'm just sitting and staring, listening to you.
Okay, we're gonna go to settings. More. Everyone follows me. There you go. Okay. And I'm here. All right. We got the YouTube back under control. So if you got any questions, come on in, drop a line. We're not going to do, like I told, I don't know if you've been watching, I'm not going to do these on Mondays and Fridays because that kind of cuts into your time. And I'm only doing an hour a day. I'm not doing the full boogie chat deal. We'll give people sensory overload on Stunhanger.
I think we put him to sleep last night on the show talking about electric power plants.
No doubt.
Yeah, but it gives you an audio warning before it ends the stream at 2 hours.
Oh, it does now? What does it
When
say?
it's got that Star Trekky woman's voice that comes on and says video stream is ending. And so all I did was hit the three dots, popped it up, turned it back on, and it told me the video stream is now streaming. And it was as smooth as that. It was hardly a glitch on the YouTube. Watched the rerun of it today.
We had somebody else come in for a second there, but they immediately popped out for some reason.
And that was Dennis, it looked like, and didn't have a last name. I bet it was Dennis Adamus. And
Well, for some reason he popped out. So this corrector's dry, or drying up the handle now. We'll go ahead and let it set overnight. Still, I can feel it a little moist, but that's as easy as it gets building a crutch.
yeah, it looks good. I had to learn the hard way that you need the engine in hand to build a crutch. You can't do it without the engine. So, and
Well,
I was just doing kits, but still, I didn't realize I needed the engine when I built my first one or two, and then that's why it was coming out wrong, too close to the edge or too far in, something like that.
And get the glue off. You don't need to carry around all that extra glue. Some guys drill these motor mounts. I don't like doing that because, especially with the new, more powerful engines, of course they do run smoother, but I don't think it's a good idea.
What do you mean you don't drill them? You just bolt the engine down with wood screws?
No, I'm talking about drilling the side. Or
Oh, hell no. I wouldn't do that either.
a lot of guys do, lighten them up that way. Now, because John has an end mill, we've been milling them out. Anyway, this will be complete.
I've got to paint some epoxy on the inside of the cowl on my little Half-A Hyper Viper, and I was wondering do you ever put fiberglass on the inside of the cowl for any reason, or just paint the whole inside where the engine's going to be mounted with finishing resin?
I just use finishing resin inside. I use fiberglass outside.
Yeah, I've seen you do that. I'm gonna go back and watch you do that again. I think it was the Continental I watched you do it on.
All my airplanes have the noses fiberglass because that's where you're handling them.
Yeah.
And you don't want to dent them up. I use a 1/2 ounce or a 3/4 ounce cloth, depending on what I can get. But
yeah, I've got 3/4. I never could get 1/2 ounce from Brodak. That's right. Oh no, I saw that.
Better clamp it and let it dry.
You think it'll set up okay now?
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, it wasn't quite dry.
What'd you say that was? 30-minute epoxy?
Yeah.
Is that where you burned yourself that I see on your left forearm?
No, that's where the grinder got me back.
Grinder, yeah, that's right.
My thumb is completely healed from the K77 where it ripped my thumb right in half. But
yeah.
But it took less than a month for my it took my nail off from the center all the way down to the cuticle and ripped it back, and I put it back on and glued it.
Yeah, I never get too far from a bottle of thin CA. Around the house, I glue myself back together all the time.
Well,
I wonder, us modelers must be the only people that call it CA, because nobody ever knows what I'm talking about unless I call it super glue.
cyanoacrylate.
Yeah,
Cyanoacrylate, or whatever how you say it.
cyanoacrylate. See how, well, I can't say it now either. But
What a mess this place is.
I wish Dennis would pop back in.
Yeah, I'll leave that alone and let it dry and sand on it tomorrow. And that's, even if it didn't, completely cure up, that's not what holds it all together anyway. There's a 64th ply sheet that goes from side to side in that area, in that bottom there. And then, of course, the doublers get glued in there. So
Yeah.
it'll be fine. Anyway, I guess that's it. What?
What do you think about carbon veil instead of fiberglass for the outside of the cowl area for hardening?
Everybody talks up this carbon. Carbon veil is shit. It offers no structural strength.
That was my impression too when I tried it on flaps. It tears up easy if you're not gentle with it when you brush the dope on it too. So
the only strength that veil has is if it's glued between two pieces of wood, and it's not really the carbon that gives it the strength, it's the glue. And you got so much glue, it's too damn heavy.
Yeah,
the piece of silk span between them.
Yeah, I've kind of been disappointed with it too. So I got more than I'll probably ever use now.
Now, Bob Hunt likes to use carbon veil on the outside of the fuselage and on all the wood. He says, that it's a good filler. It's like putting on a coat of paint. You could, because you get all that veil, 2/10 veil gets sanded off anyway. So
yeah, I got plenty of fiberglass too, so I'll stick with that 3/4 ounce.
Ever since I gave up on new technology and went back to building the way they did in the 60s, my airplanes are better. I think. The only thing I don't have is Aerogloss dope.
Yeah, I bought some of the last of that I ever saw at my little local hobby shop before they closed the doors. And they didn't have but a couple of colors and some, they had black and clear. I think he had some orange, but.
Now, we have a little hobby shop here at Dayton area. And I have a couple of quarts of clear Aerogloss dope, but I don't have any thinner. So we go to the Dayton hobby shop, or whatever they call it. And my friend and I are in the back there, and they got these little bottles of thinner. And, they had a whole bunch of them. They had maybe a dozen 3/4 ounce bottles of thinner. They were really expensive. I wasn't going to buy $2 a bottle, for 3/4 of an ounce, or whatever the hell it was. But I just had to smell that smell. So
Yeah.
we're in the back, and they're playing some kind of Dungeons and Dragons bullshit game in the back. And I cracked that top open, and the whole place, you could smell it all the way up to the cash register.
Yeah, it smells like MEK, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I'm wondering, could you use MEK to thin it with?
I don't think so. I haven't found anything that'll thin it. I don't think so.
I don't like messing with MEK.
MEK's too hot. It'll cloud because it'll dry too fast. So if you want to join the chat, we're going to keep it open 5 more minutes. Ask me a question, whatever. And like I say, Rusty's usually on Mondays and Fridays, 9:40 till whenever.
Yep. That's the show, the Hangout, it's now called the Stunt Hanger Video Chat Show. Had to take Hangout out of the name of it, and that works fine.
But we're going to go ahead and do the hour a day thing. I mean, I'll probably do an hour tomorrow. I've been doing them at 8 o'clock. I might move it up to 7. You know, it's going to be between 7 and 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Yep, I'm usually right on the mark at 9:40 Eastern U.S. time. I got to learn when to jump through the hoops. I accidentally recorded about 8 minutes of me just jabbering and fooling around with it, and I should have known I was broadcasting live, and it recorded. So after the show last night, I had to go edit and clip out that first little bit to where I wasn't just making noise. Somebody gave me a thumbs down. I bet that's when it was too.
They can take their thumbs down and thumb it right where the sun don't shine.
Actually, I think thumbs down helps your subscription rate, or I don't know, or whatever rates they use to judge your channel by.
It does. Any interaction helps. So these guys giving the thumbs down, hey, you're helping the channel. It's just
Yeah. Yeah, because it means you're doing something wrong, and people love to see wrong stuff on YouTube. So
I think the only time that it aggravated me is when I was at the Nats. It was so damn hot, you know, and I'm trying to video plus fly plus help, you know. It just aggravated me that one day.
I remember, yeah.
I tell you that if YouTube wouldn't throw me off, it would have been a lot worse than what I did say. And remember, guys, no copyrighted material sharing videos on here, because I did get a copyright strike the other night.
Yeah, and that was, what were you showing? That was the night you were showing just somebody flying a pattern, weren't you? Or was
That's
it,
my video.
did it have music in it?
The video that I showed was me flying. It's off of my channel. The video that you showed is off somebody else's channel, and they put a copyright strike against me.
I don't even remember showing a video. Somebody else might have. I don't know. Anyway, we won't. Also, make sure when you share the screen, you don't share the taskbar, not the taskbar, the address bar at the top, because that's where the helmet head and the other trolls can copy that and come in with us to disrupt us if they wanted to.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Helmet Head wants to sit and copy all that shit down, more power to him. And you gotta really want to mess with us to copy all that crap down.
I've seen my little nieces and nephews do some pretty damn fast little finger typing on those telephones when they're texting those. So yeah, they could probably do it faster than us old guys can.
Anyway, I'm going to call it a night. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm going to go eat supper. So thank you for the show, Sparky.
All right. Tomorrow night we'll do something else for an hour, and we'll see how long this takes.
All right. We'll see you Monday night. Good night.
Skyline, see ya. What the heck did I do with it there, dude?